Hello to our global audience. We are making this special presentation to you because of the very special events that have taken place in West Asia. We did an earlier recording with our dear friend and colleague Pepe Escobar, and now we are doing part two of this special recording with our military analyst who spent quite a bit of time in the military circles in the United States, including the security circles. Larry Johnson, you know him well, you love him, and we are delighted to have him here, an honor to have him here. Special part two. If you like what we do, please hit the like and subscribe button. And please go to our Substack, same name, Transition Protocol, become a paid member, and we will deliver now 2 times a week these security briefings inside your mailbox. As you know, a lot is going on, and that's why we are here. Go ahead, Larry.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Z. Look, normally we do this on a Monday afternoon, but because of travel schedule and such, we decided to record it late tonight. It'll be posted on Monday the 3rd. And I'm sure as Pepe explained, the situation remains fluid to say the least. But what we are seeing is Trump once again did a taco. As they say, Trump always chickens out. I'm going to post at my blog at Sonar 21 a photograph that was made based on the movie Runaway Bride. Runaway Bride featured Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. And Julia was a woman who could never get married. She'd get to the altar, she'd run away. So what I had them do was put the picture of Donald Trump on Julia Roberts' face, and then put, instead of Richard Gere, we have Foreign Minister Arachi. And that's what you've got right now. Donald Trump is the runaway bride. Keeps threatening to have a relationship with Iran, and then keeps running away at the last minute. Threatens to destroy Iran. Then all of a sudden has a change of heart. Now, the preparations for this military strike that were supposed to take place today, Sunday, we had several indicators of it. On the public side, the indicators were embassies, the U.S. Embassy, U.S. State Department's warning people to vacate, depart, the Gulf countries and Israel. The events of the past 24 hours, we fully expected to have been engaged with a new full-blown war that Donald Trump had threatened to unleash on Iran. But that war has not come to pass. In fact, last night, sometime after 6 p.m., Donald Trump made the decision to not launch or authorize the attacks against Iran. Now, we know this from both public and private sources. The public sources are U.S. embassies who are warning people to depart or hunker down. The Israelis also were opening up bomb shelters. The full expectation was that this was going to be an attack that would be taking out power centers, nuclear sites, and civilian targets inside Iran. But and then in addition to that, I had information from sources in the U.S. military. They were fully anticipating. They were geared up. The orders were out to begin launching after 6 p.m. Eastern time. Didn't happen. Something changed. One issue that surfaced is that Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries warned Trump not to do it because Iran had vowed any attacks on Iranian power sources and or nuclear sites would result in a devastating Iranian response that would be likened to a 10-to-1 response that would completely destroy and render those countries impossible to live in. that may have been a determining factor for Donald Trump and preventing him from going forward with this. I have said that I've had an image made up, and we'll post it on the Substack, of Donald Trump as Julia Roberts in the movie Runaway Bride. We put Donald Trump's head on Julia Roberts' body, and Richard Gere, the actor who starred alongside her in that, we now have as Iranian Foreign Minister Arachi. And essentially what this is to say is that every time Donald Trump tries to make a deal with Iran, he runs away from it and then tries to start a new war. But then, lo and behold, he comes back and wants to reestablish the relationship. Right now, the effect of this action by Trump, after threatening, then to back off, has the negative effect in Iran of convincing the Iranians that the United States is weak, Donald Trump especially is weak, and that you do not have to take him seriously when he's making these threats. This is the old proverb about the boy who cried wolf. Kept crying wolf. The wolf never came until the moment when the wolf did show up and the boy cried for help, but no one believed him. In this case, I think Trump is likely to continue to make threats. For right now, there's talking about negotiations. The concern is not to roil the stock market. I'm sure we'll see the stock market in the morning go up. The future oil price will come down. That'll last for 2 or 3 days until, say, Thursday or Friday after the close of the oil market. Then there will be threats and renewed attacks, and the price will go back up for the oil, and the stock market will drop down. This is, I've stopped counting the number of times that Donald Trump has pulled this off. So from Iran's standpoint, the negotiations boil down very simply to Iran's position is we're not going to make any deals on nuclear weapons or nuclear power until such time as, one, Israel is out of southern Lebanon, two, the United States recognizes Iran's control of the Strait of Hormuz, the blockade is lifted, the sanctions are lifted, and money that has been frozen is returned to Iran. Only then do the Iranians say they will talk to that they'll be willing to make a deal with the United States. The United States, for its part, insists there must be a deal up front with respect to nuclear weapons or the nuclear development program of Iran. And Iran has said no, that's the last thing to discuss. So what we have still is an impasse, but as of tonight, at this time, it was 9:45 p.m. East Coast time, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, and if we look at it, it's roughly 5 a.m. in Tehran. No further bombings, no further military action at this point. But that's not to say that that will not be a problem in a few days. So that's the wrap up, Z.
Well, Larry, that is a quick wrap up and a beautiful wrap up. I would like you to comment on the special briefing that Pepe and I discussed on our channel earlier today, which is the reporting coming to us directly from the man in the room. That includes statements made by Asim Munir, the conversations between Arakchi and Asim Munir, the conversations particularly between MBZ and Arakchi, which was later communicated to Asim Munir, that the Gulf coalition is fracturing. That Asim Munir communicated to Trump. I have no exact idea as to when this happened. That you strike Iran and you will have severe hell to pay, and I mean detailed, including shipments of advanced weaponry moving from Russia to Tehran, moving from China to Tehran via Gawadar. Pakistani technicians going there, military personnel, highly trained to help with the integration. All of that taking place. And Asim Munir communicating to Trump that, listen, Iran, you think Iran is weakened? No, 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 no. Iran is significantly more capable today than it was even a week ago, even a couple of days ago. So you strike Iran, and you are not going to see the end of this. So Pepe and I discussed it. You are the military expert. Please enlighten our audiences with your perspective.
Well, no, I really don't think I have much to add to what you and Pepe discussed because you covered it so well. One of the key items is that China has continued to help Iran upgrade its air defense system by expanding the role of the BeiDou global satellite program, which allows what the United States calls GPS coordinates to be plugged into these missiles, which improves their accuracy. That system, the BeiDou system as well, facilitates Iran's ability to use air defense to defeat incoming threats. So the fact that China continues to provide Iran with the latest technology on that front and expand its capabilities gives Iran an increased ability to defeat potentially, or at least cause harm to any future U.S.-Israeli attack inside Iran. The continued rearming as well of Iran. Iran is still in a good position to produce its own weaponry, its own missiles. However, the Chinese now have a vested interest to find out if the missiles that they've built, hypersonic missiles, anti-ship missiles, do they really work? It's one thing to test them on a regular range. It's another thing to test them in an actual combat environment. And that's where I think that there's a symbiotic relationship here between China and Iran, where China gets to test systems it anticipates it will have to use against American attacks down the road. And what better way to do it than to right now on a real battlefield in a real combat environment to test that. So that's the other thing that I think is going on. What we're seeing among the Gulf Arabs is a split. Now, earlier, and again, this is reported, I think, by Reuters, that the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Bahrain are calling on the United States to conduct immediate, devastating attacks on Iran. That the Saudis and Qataris and Omanis were calling for just the opposite. So this underscores that there is a difference, not only of opinion, but of policy between half the members of the Gulf Cooperating Council. So that's one element that's also going to have to be taken into account going forward, that apparently not even the Saudis, Qataris, and Omanis can speak with the same voice as the other three Gulf countries.
What do you make of the reemergence of Asim Munir as an intermediary and an active one between Iran, Iraqi particularly, and Trump, and also between, from what I've been told, between some of these Gulf countries, the UAE, which is surprisingly being reported as somebody inviting attacks. But earlier we were told from a very reliable source that they were begging for a normalization of trade relationships with Tehran and wanting an end to this. But Asim Munir apparently is in the middle of all that.
Yeah, Munir, ironically, has a much stronger position outside of Pakistan than he does inside of Pakistan. Now, he is still in control, but he is enjoying greater respect and recognition, acknowledgement in his dealings with Iran, with the United States, with the Saudis, than at home. But the one thing that also helps keep Asim Munir on track, I believe, is the sizable Shia presence in Pakistan that is very supportive of Iran. And so it's therefore strengthens, if you will, Asim Munir's position to be seen as assisting and working with the Islamic Republic of Iran in close coordination.
Well, Asim Munir is actually related to Mohsen Naqvi, who is related, very closely related to somebody who has the title of being the leader of 40 million strong Pakistani Shiite community.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very strongly appointed by them in terms of their trust in him. His name is Sajid Naqvi, and is a close relative of Mohsen Naqvi, who is a relative of Asim Munir. So that is somebody. That is a very good entree for Asim Munir inside the leadership of Iran, and we have reported this on this channel several times, that many times when Asim really wants a message delivered quickly to Mujtaba Khamenei, he relies upon Mohsen Naqvi to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
they appreciate that, they respect that, and they actually have given him the privilege of contacting that office himself. So his position, his stature has gone up from what we have been told, what we have seen actually, what we have actually seen is that he has begun to play a very significant role now. Now, the question is this from a military standpoint that our audience would love for you to comment on. There is how long is this going to last, this pause? Tehran thinks this is a pause. Tehran is actually thinking of this as a sign of near surrender, not actual surrender, but a near surrender.
Yeah. Well, I think the quiet will last for a day or two, and then the United States by Wednesday will again be carrying out some military strikes, and Iran will be retaliating against targets throughout the Gulf region as well as potentially into Israel. Then we'll get another weekend, another. So this is going to go on back and forth. This the Iranians, I believe, if they decide at some point to launch preemptive strikes to really force the United States and Israel to stop these attacks, they have it in their missile power to take out the airfields, to destroy the air refueling capabilities, and once they do that, then these attacks will stop.
Well, Larry, with the SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, coming to an all-time low in the last
Mhm.
maybe 40 years, how long can Trump keep this on?
I really expect he could again if they start trying to 24/7 operations, probably 2 weeks, and then they'll have to call it off. The problem the United States faces is it's not just the United States; it's the globe. There is a global shortage of diesel and aviation fuel right now, and there is no. It's not a matter of just pumping more oil to increase that number. The supply chain is disrupted, and it's going to be very difficult to correct that deficit. So I believe the economic problems are actually the ones that will ultimately force Trump to rein in his offensive actions against Iran.
From our reporting, this is what we are told. Iran is keenly aware of this very pressing limitation on the part of the SPR pushing Trump to not be able to do very much. So they, from what I've been told, keenly aware of this and recognize this as a limiting factor, and they are not at all shy about allowing this to continue for another week, maybe 10 days, until this
Yeah,
guy, Trump, is on the ropes, literally on the ropes.
yeah. It'll be the economics that are going to do Trump in, not the military steps.
So, do you see that happening?
Yeah, no. I look right now. We've got a global shortage of diesel and aviation fuel. Those shortages are only going to increase over the next 2 weeks. And the more they increase, the more economic problems it's going to create for Donald Trump here in the United States.
From our understanding, my understanding is that Tehran, which means the entire leadership, which means not only Arakchi, but Galibaf, Pezeshkian, IRGC head Vahidi, and the supreme leader. They actually, I mean, this is a privileged insight that we have. They
Right.
they don't want a peace deal anymore. They want this guy to leave with his, tail tucked behind, between his legs.
Yeah. Well, and that's where it's headed. There is no good option, political, military, economic option for Donald Trump. And it all ultimately, I think the clearest expression of that came tonight from, I think it was General Wesley Clark. And he basically said that, this war is now at a stage that if the United States does not prevail, it's going to represent a complete failure and defeat, a grand strategic defeat of the United States. And I think that's exactly right.
That is what the Iranians have communicated to Asim Munir. The very detailed phone call that took place between Arakchi and Asim Munir, to which
Yeah.
we are so honored and privileged to have access to. The readout from that office to us is that Iran knows this is coming. Iran is not eager to have a deal. They are eager for Trump to leave. That's what that's Iran's position.
Hmm.
And if Trump is stupid enough to go in, they are fully capable of doing that. Now, the more strategic question that I would like to ask you is, that happens. I mean, we believe this is going to happen sooner or later. Where does that leave the United States in terms of its, geopolitical stature?
Well, yeah, this is going to be a devastating loss for the United States. The um, the power of the petrodollar is fading. The U.S. promises to protect and secure the Gulf countries has been proven to be a lie. And the United States Navy has limited ability to actually can't enter the Persian Gulf anymore for fear of being sunk by Iran. So what is highlighted is the both physical weakness, technological weakness, and strategic weakness of the United States. And frankly, there's no easy turnaround from that.
So, what we have been saying on this channel, Larry, between yourself, myself, Pepe, and some of our other, valued commentators, is that this is the beginning of the end of the petrodollar.
Yes. Yeah, no,
Would
very
you
much
agree?
so. Yeah, it's very much so. This is, and the shift to the Chinese currency, renminbi, which is actually backed by gold now. So increasingly, we're going to see China and Russia emerge as new financial centers that other countries who want to engage in trade will have to work with.
What does that do to the ability of the United States to finance its debt?
No, I mean this is a disaster economically for the United States. That it is it's bankrupting itself through these wars. Didn't have to work out like this at all, but that's the way it is working out. And so the United States doesn't have really any good choices going forward. There's no easy way to end this war with Iran without a significant loss of face for the United States, or the alternative to try to carry it on to a military victory, which in my judgment is impossible. But in the course of that, to suffer more material losses that'll further weaken the U.S. militarily in theaters such as Asia and Europe.
And the rise of China, not as a hegemon, but as a dominant, I mean,
Yeah,
acknowledged dominant power
right,
in the world,
right,
particularly the global south.
correct.
Well, would you like to put a summary and an end to this historical day? I say historical because, in our judgment, this marks a remarkable shift in the posture of the United States vis-a-vis Iran.
No, it's just it's one more piece of evidence that we started gathering more than a year ago in the Red Sea, where the United States, despite all of its paper power, what's listed on paper, when it actually gets out into the open water and has to deliver, it's proven to be weak and incapable of defeating threats. The threats represented by Ansar Allah, and now the threat represented by the Islamic Republic of Iran. So in both cases, with the case of Ansar Allah, they showed they were quite capable of standing up and defeating the United States. And again, we've seen the People's Republic, the army of the of Vietnam. Well, the army of and Air Force and all operations of Iran stand strong against the United States. So the United States is facing a defeat, both first at the hands of the Houthis, now at the hands of the Iranians.
And that is the tectonic shift that we have been speaking of, Larry. That is a geopolitical earthquake that we are
Yes.
fortunate enough to have witnessed and brought to our audience, which is the reason why we have, I am happy to report, a very significant growing audience globally from all corners of the world. This broadcast is available in 14 languages. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you like what we do. Please go to our Substack community, same name, Transition Protocol, become a paid subscriber. We will henceforth begin, as of this week, deliver our security briefing to you that you see over here twice a week inside your mailbox, and we will be back to you again during the course of the week, bringing you more updates as and when they happen from sources inside the room. So thank you very much for being a part of our broadcast. Thank you, Larry. Thank you for taking the time from your busy weekend to be here.
All right. Thanks, Z. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay. Tuesday, Pepe and I will be here, and all three of us will be here on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm going to stop right now.